Once upon a time, nestled in a valley surrounded by mist-covered mountains, lived a young man named Kale. Kale was known throughout his village not for his strength or his craft, but for his temper. It was like a wild storm, fierce and unpredictable. A misplaced tool, a delayed meal, or even a gentle critique could unleash a torrent of anger that left relationships strained and his own heart in turmoil. He felt trapped by his own emotions, a prisoner in a cage of his own making. One evening, after a particularly stormy outburst that left his small workshop in disarray, Kale sat amidst the chaos, his head in his hands. He was tired. Tired of the anger, tired of the apologies, tired of the constant feeling of being out of control. He yearned for the peace that seemed to grace the faces of the village elders, a serenity that felt a million miles away. He had heard whispers of an old hermit, a master of the mind who lived high up on the most formidable peak, a place called the Silent Mountain. The journey was said to be treacherous, but the reward was wisdom. Desperate for a change, Kale decided he would seek out this master. He packed a small bag with water and some bread, and as the first light of dawn painted the sky, he began his ascent. The path was steeper and more unforgiving than he had imagined. Thorny bushes tore at his clothes and loose rocks slid under his feet. With every stumble, his frustration grew. He cursed the rocks, the thorns, the sun beating down on him. The familiar storm began to brew inside him, his fists clenching and his jaw tightening. He was ready to scream at the mountain itself. After hours of struggle, he finally reached a small, flat clearing where an old man sat cross-legged, gazing out at the vast expanse of the valley below. The man's face was a tapestry of wrinkles, each line telling a story of time and wisdom. His eyes, however, were bright and clear, holding a profound sense of calm. This had to be the master. Kyle, still panting and frustrated, stomped over. "Are you the master?" he demanded, his voice rough. "I've come all this way to learn how to control my anger. This journey was infuriating." The old man turned his head slowly, a gentle smile gracing his lips. He didn't speak. Instead, he simply pointed to a large, empty barrel standing next to him. Then he pointed to a small stream trickling nearby. "Fill it," he said, his voice as soft as the breeze. Kyle was bewildered. "Fill it? I came here for wisdom, not to be your water boy." His anger flared. The master's smile didn't waver. "Fill the barrel," he repeated calmly. Grumbling and fuming, Kale grabbed a small bucket lying nearby and began the tedious task. He stomped to the stream, scooped up water, and angrily tossed it into the barrel. The water sloshed and splashed, more of it landing on the ground than inside. He felt foolish, his anger intensifying with each trip. "This is pointless," he shouted. The master simply watched, his expression unchanging. For hours Kyle worked, his anger fueling him. But as the sun began to set, exhaustion seeped into his bones. His movements became slower, more deliberate. He was too tired to be angry. As he carefully poured another bucketful, he noticed something. When he was calm and his movements were steady, the water flowed smoothly into the barrel without spilling. His focus shifted from his anger to the task itself, to the rhythm of walking, scooping, and pouring. By the time the moon was high in the sky, the barrel was finally full. Kyle stood back, drenched in sweat but feeling a strange sense of accomplishment. The storm inside him had passed, leaving behind a quiet stillness. He approached the master, who was now tending a small fire. "I've filled the barrel," Kale said, his voice quiet, devoid of its earlier aggression. "What now?" The master looked up, his eyes twinkling in the firelight. "Now," he said, "I want you to empty it." Kyle's jaw dropped. Empty it? After all that work? A flicker of his old anger returned, but it was weak, like a distant echo. He was too tired to fight. With a heavy sigh, he picked up the bucket and began to empty the barrel, scoop by scoop. As he worked under the serene moonlight, a realization began to dawn on him. The barrel was like his mind. The water was his emotions. When he was angry and agitated, he threw his emotions around wildly, creating chaos and achieving very little. But when he was calm and focused, He could manage them with precision and purpose. Filling the barrel had not been a pointless chore, it was his first lesson. When the barrel was empty once more, Cale sat down by the fire, a profound sense of peace washing over him. He looked at the master. I think I understand," he whispered. The master nodded. "Your emotions are like that water. They are not inherently good or bad. They are simply energy. When you try to fight them or suppress them," he said, motioning toward Cale's earlier frantic splashing, "they will only splash and spill, causing damage to yourself and others. But when you learn to guide them with a calm and steady hand, they can be a source of great power and purpose." He continued, "You cannot stop the stream from flowing, just as you cannot stop feelings from arising. Anger, sadness, joy, they will all come. The secret is not to stop the flow, but to become the master of the bucket. You choose how you carry the water. You choose where you pour it." Kyle spent several more days on the silent mountain. The master didn't give him any more grand tasks. Instead, they sat in silence, observed the changing sky, and listened to the sounds of nature. The master taught Cale to observe his thoughts and feelings as if they were clouds passing in the sky, acknowledging their presence without letting them become a storm. He learned to breathe through his frustration, to find the quiet space between a trigger and his reaction. When Cale finally descended the mountain, he was a changed man. The path seemed less treacherous. When he stumbled, he simply got up, dusted himself off, and continued with a calm heart. Back in the village, people noticed the change immediately. His face was no longer a thundercloud. His movements were graceful and deliberate. One day, a cart ran over his newly crafted chair, shattering it. The old Cale would have exploded in rage, but the new Cale simply took a deep breath, looked at the broken pieces, and said to the frantic cart driver, "It's all right, it's just wood, I can make another." Cale's life transformed. His relationships healed, his craft flourished, and he became a source of quiet strength in the village. He had learned that true power wasn't about being the loudest storm in the valley, but about being the calm mountain that could withstand any weather. He had mastered his emotions, and in doing so, he had mastered his world. This story teaches us a powerful lesson. Emotional control isn't about becoming unfeeling. It's about understanding that our feelings are visitors. We can choose to let them rage and destroy our inner house, or we can choose to be a calm, wise host, guiding them with intention. By mastering our inner world, we unlock the power to shape our outer world with peace and purpose. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more content that aims to inspire and uplift. Until next time, may you find the peace of the calm mountain within you.